There's a special obligation on Purim, each one of us, to give matanot la'evyonim, to give presents to those who are unfortunate and might not be able to celebrate the day of Purim in a proper manner. This is actually written in the Megillah. Those days of Purim are going to be days of joy. Umishloach manot ish l're'ehu, presents. We said presents from one to the other in order to increase the simcha of the day. Umatanot la'evyonim. Evyonim plural. Therefore, we have to send to two poor people, one present to each of them. But remember, to two evyonim, in order that we make it easier for them or more possible for them to participate in the mitzvah of Sudat Purim and to eat the meal of Purim together. And therefore, l'chatchila, a priori, we should give them food. We shouldn't make them go, oh, here's a check, a post-dated check, here's my credit card. I mean, nothing like that. Here's food, go and enjoy it. This is the mitzvah of the day. We want to make sure that every poor person has the wherewithal to celebrate on the day of Purim. For Ashkenazim, the halacha is that even a pruta, right, a very small amount of money, hardly of any value, is sufficient to be yotzei, to fulfill the mitzvah of matanot la'evyonim. But obviously, the more that we can give, and the more that we can share, and the more opportunity that we can create for others to do this mitzvah of Sudat Purim, the more we are blessed. On Purim, anybody who sticks out his hand and says, I need money, he is in the category of evyon. And you can give him the money that you've set aside or the food that you've set aside for matanot la'evyonim. And in spite of that, there are some poskim who feel that you should fulfill the specific mitzvah of matanot la'evyonim, means two gifts, one gift to each of two people, two gifts to one each to two people, that should be fulfilled only by giving the money to an oni, someone who really, who you know for certain, cannot support himself or support a su'udah on Purim. But as I said, this is a hidur, this is kind of the best way of doing the mitzvah. But if you give money or food to anybody who puts his hand out on Purim, that seems to be an acceptable way of doing the mitzvah. There is some issue about giving matanot to non-Jews. There was an issue, in various places in the diaspora. If all the poor people are being supported, then how about the poor people who are not Jewish? And therefore, it is permitted, the halacha, the Mishnah Berurah quotes this halacha, to give non-Jews matanot la'evyonim. And certainly the reasons of Darkei Shalom, of promoting peaceful relations between the Jews and their non-Jewish neighbors, is a good reason to maintain this particular obligation. So we have an obligation of matanot la'evyonim. Many poskim say that we can fulfill this obligation by giving it to Jews, giving the money to Jews who don't keep the Torah properly and are not worried about the mitzvot. And even though that Jew is not going to make a bracha, when you give him food to eat in the su'udah, he's not going to make a bracha. But it's probably better to give matanot la'evyonim to people who are involved in the Torah, are interested in doing the mitzvah, are careful about the brachot that they make and birkat hamazon after the Seudah, it's probably better to give those people the support of matanot la'evyonim wherever it is possible.